Vortex, I just want to show you something really quickly. So this church friend that's in my choir, she gave me this mug that was given to her when her husband passed away. And she saw me the other night. I think I told you I went to a service where like I knew I would be crying, and she said that her heart has been heavy seeing me in such despair. And I had like her and like a few other women like flock to me today to make sure I was okay. And y'all know how I feel about women, but this is a good example of like when I talk about like what a woman's supposed to be, which is, if you're wondering, you can read Proverbs chapter 31. Most of that chapter is about how women are supposed to behave. And I just think it's really cool because, like, you know, it is possible for people to be good and caring and compassionate. And, you know, I guess this is why I fell into the Orthodoxy, because I realized tonight the real reason why I'm there. And it's mainly because the Psalms are such a huge part of it. So I try to read the Psalms as often as possible because it's the only thing that makes sense out of my life. And nobody is going to convince me that that's a load of bullshit, because I see like how my energy is affected by reading them or singing them, preferably singing them since they're songs to God. But this is holy basil tea, and I guess that's what I'm supposed to do with this thing, because I was kind of confused, but I think you put it in here and then I don't know. But yeah, this stuff smells so good too. Anyway. She also gave me some Epsom salt. As if I take a bath. That's funny though. It's funny. It's like you can't encourage me enough to do that, right? But I'm not really the type to take baths though. Really not. I'd much rather take a shower. But yeah. Like, it's happened a few times where, you know, people at church will see me and they, you know, they reach out to me, make sure I'm okay. Because yeah, it's been pretty bad, dude. And I don't make light of it, but I also don't want people to feel sorry for me. Like, you know, because there's just this tendency in this country especially, but I think it's just a Western thing. And I think that the reason why it's a Western thing is because, like, we have all this extra time that we can devote to, like, things that we think are wrong. And so women in particular are really bad about this because, you know, we get really hung up on that. And I think that you can see with a lot of, like, progressive politics, like, there's a reason why so many women are, like, running for office right now. It's because they want to feel important. You know, they want to be validated somehow. And so if they're not going to do that in a traditional way, or if that just doesn't do it for them, they're going to have to outsource. They're going to have to find other means of that. So I think it's really cool whenever like women reach out to other women and, you know, prove that they're not pieces of shit. That's pretty awesome. But, like, yeah, dude. I guess I'm just so used to people, like, either not caring or just not understanding at all. And I can't really blame them for either position. Because, you know, when I was in high school, I dated a guy. And I was crying all the time. Like, pretty much every day. And he got to the point where he was so used to it that he just didn't give a fuck. And people in my work, I mean, some of them reach out, but most of them, like, they just know that that's the way that I am. That, like, my personality, I almost said persona. I have I don't want to say despondent nature, but it's just a real thinky, feely nature. And if you have a thinky, feely nature, the stuff that you think and feel about is probably negative. You know? So sometimes it can be positive. It can be like a rewarding thing. But most of the time it's just pretty intense. And not in a good way. But, you know, when I'm at church, and when I read Psalms, and when I talk to God, and also when I sing, when I do this piano punk shit, and occasionally, like, when I talk about something and I get really passionate about it, you know, I feel that more positive, you know, acid trip, because it's like, I realized that the purpose of all that negative stuff. I realized the purpose of the not so fun part, which is most of it. But yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that there are good women out there who provide holy basil tea and Epsom salt whenever it's needed. And that would be really cool if I actually took a bath. Right? Right? That would be so cool. But yeah, man. I watched my comedy video. I'm really proud of myself for watching the comedy video, like, the following day, because I typically wait because I don't want to watch it. But, per usual, the part that always impresses me is the part where I say things that people don't agree with and I still keep talking. You know? Because, like, when I'm on stage, it's my time and I can talk about whatever I want. So, yeah, I'm gonna say the things that need to be said that nobody else is saying. And maybe it'll resonate. Maybe there'll be somebody in the audience that a couple weeks from now, there'll be some stupid shit happening in the news. And they'll go, hey, remember when that crazy bitch was talking about how everything's fake? Maybe she was right.